You're not suffering because of your past. You're suffering because you keep returning to it. Not every day, not every moment, but in the quiet, when no one is watching, your mind reopens the same story, the same betrayal, the same rejection, the same moment that broke you. And you tell yourself, I'm just remembering. No, you're not remembering. You're rehearsing your pain. Listen carefully, the person who hurt you has already moved on. But you replayed that moment 10,000 times, each time deeper, each time heavier, each time more personal. And slowly, it stopped being something that happened to you and became something that defines you. You started saying things like, this always happens to me. People don't understand me. I never get a fair chance. And right there, you didn't become a victim. You chose to stay one. Let me tell you the truth, most people will never say you are not broken. You are addicted to remembering what broke you. And until you break this loop, nothing changes. Not your life, not your mindset, not your future. Napoleon Hill once said, every adversity carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But here's the problem. Instead of searching for the seed, you started worshiping the wand. You made your pain the center of your story. And now it's the reason you can't move forward. You tell yourself, I need closure. I need answers. I need to understand why this happened. But be honest, you're not searching for answers. You're searching for reasons to stay attached to the pain. And the more you justify it, the deeper it roots into your identity. So today, right here, you make a decision. Drop it. Yes, it's that simple. But it won't be easy. What does drop it really mean? It means stop giving that memory power. Stop replaying that conversation. Stop allowing that person to control your emotional state. Because every time you revisit that moment, you're not just remembering it, you're reliving it. And then you say, I need healing. Healing doesn't come from touching the wound again and again. Healing comes when you finally leave it alone. You need to understand something. The past is over, completely, finished. It has no power except the power you keep giving it. But your mind still treats it like an open file. So today, you create a new system. In your mind, there will be a file called, I don't understand it. Everything that didn't make sense, everything that felt unfair, everything that hurt you deeply. You take it and you put it in that file. No explanation, no overthinking, no emotional attachment. Just place it there, close it, and move forward. Because your future does not depend on understanding your past. It depends on what you choose right now. And right now, you choose one thing: to repeat your story or to rewrite it. If you keep repeating it, you'll relive the same pain. Different faces, same patterns. But if you rewrite it, you'll have to let go of who you've been. And that is the hardest part, because people don't just hold on to pain, they become comfortable in it. Pain becomes their excuse, their shield, their identity. But here's the truth. As long as you hold on to the pain, you cannot hold on to your destiny. Life does not pause for your wounds. Opportunities don't wait. Time doesn't come back. People don't rewind. And yet, you're still standing at the place where you were hurt. How much longer? How many more years? Something that happened 20 years ago, why are you still paying for it today? That's not justice. That's self-destruction. So today, draw the line and say, enough. That betrayal, that failure, that rejection does not define me anymore. I will not carry it. I will not replay it. I will not let it control my story. I will drop it. You said you would drop it, but somehow you keep picking it back up. You made the decision. You felt strong. You told yourself, from today, I'm done with this. But then a memory triggered it, a song, a place, a random thought. And just like that, you were back inside the same story. This is where most people fail. Not because they're weak, but because they don't understand the trap. Let me show you the truth. Your mind is not trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect your identity. And your identity is built on repetition. Whatever you repeat the most becomes who you believe you are. So if you've been repeating pain for years, your mind has accepted it as normal, as familiar, as safe. And the moment you try to let it go, your mind panics. Because to your brain, letting go of the pain feels like losing a part of yourself. That's why you go back. That's why you replay it. That's why you hold on to it. Not because you want pain, but because you've trained your mind to live in it. Read that again. You're not stuck in the past. Your brain is addicted to the emotional pattern of it. Pain became your routine, your comfort zone, your identity loop. And breaking it feels uncomfortable, feels unnatural, feels wrong. But here's the truth: no one tells you growth will always feel unfamiliar. And if you only follow what feels familiar, you will stay exactly where you are. This is why some people carry the same offense for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, even 40 years. It's no longer just a memory, it's who they are. They introduce themselves through their pain. They speak through it. They react through it. They live through it. And without realizing it, they build a prison, not made of walls, but made of thoughts. And every time they revisit the pain, they lock the door again. Listen carefully. Holding on to pain does not punish the past, it poisons your future. You think you're protecting yourself, but you're actually limiting yourself. Because when you hold on to bitterness, you push away peace. When you hold on to offense, you push away opportunities. When you hold on to guilt, you block your own growth. You cannot carry both your pain and your potential. One has to go, and most people choose the pain, because pain is predictable. Pain is known. Pain is familiar, but potential, that's uncertain. That requires courage. That demands change, and change is uncomfortable. So instead of stepping into something greater, people go back to something familiar, even if it's hurting them. This is why drop it is not just advice. It's war, a war between your past and your future, a war between your comfort and your growth, a war between who you've been and who you're meant to become. And here's the decision: if you keep going back, you lose. Not instantly, not dramatically, but slowly, silently. Over time, you lose your confidence, you lose your peace, you lose your clarity, and worst of all, you lose your future, all because you refuse to let go of something that was already over. So now the question is not, can you drop it? The real question is, are you willing to become someone who no longer needs it? Because the moment you shift your identity, everything changes. You stop reacting the same way. You stop thinking the same thoughts. You stop revisiting the same pain. And for the first time, you feel free. But freedom has a cost. You have to let go of the story you've been telling yourself for years. You have to release the version of you that was built around that pain. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. But remember this: you're not losing yourself. You're finding your real self, the one that was buried under years of emotional weight. So the next time your mind tries to go back, pause and ask yourself, am I revisiting this or recreating it? Because every time you go back, you're not just remembering the pain, you're rebuilding it. And every time you choose not to, you're breaking the cycle. That's how freedom begins. Dropping it is not enough, because if you only drop it, you can pick it back up. And that's exactly what you've been doing. You let it go for a moment, then you grab it again. You move forward for a day, then you go back for a memory. This is why your healing feels temporary, because your release was never final. So today, we don't just drop it, we bury it. Yes, we give your pain a funeral, because anything you don't bury, you will eventually revisit. Listen carefully. Every time you reopen that wound, you reset your healing. Every time you replay that moment, you keep it alive. You say you want peace, but your actions keep choosing pain. So now it ends here. Close your eyes for a second and picture this. Everything that hurt you, every betrayal, every rejection, every failure, put it all in front of you. Not to feel it again, but to release it. Now imagine digging a deep hole, not shallow, not temporary, deep enough that even your memory can't reach it easily. And one by one, you place it all inside. That conversation, That person at that moment, that version of you, all of it. And now you cover it. No hesitation, no second thoughts, no looking back, because if you leave it exposed, you will return and you will pick it up again. This is why most people stay stuck, not because they can't move on, but because they never made it permanent. They kept the door open. And pain always finds its way back through an open door. So today, you close it, not emotionally, not temporarily, but decisively. You make it final. You don't check on it. You don't revisit it. You don't reopen it. Because healing requires separation. You cannot heal from something you keep touching. You cannot grow from something you keep feeding. You cannot become new while holding on to the old. So this is the moment where you stop negotiating with your past. No more, maybe later. No more, I'll try. No more, I still feel. This is not about feelings anymore. This is about decision. Because freedom is not a feeling. Freedom is a choice. And today you choose differently. You choose to stop giving energy to something that no longer exists. You choose to stop carrying what was never meant to stay. You choose to stop identifying with a version of you that no longer serves you. Because let's be honest, that version of you was created in pain. And if you keep holding on to it, you will keep recreating the same life. Same patterns, same emotions, same limitations, different situations, but same story. And deep down, you're tired of it. Tired of thinking about it. Tired of feeling it. Tired of carrying it. So why keep it? Why protect something that's destroying you? Why hold on to something that's holding you back? This is the truth. You don't need closure. You need separation. Closure keeps you connected. Separation sets you free. And the moment you truly separate, everything changes. Your thoughts become lighter. Your emotions become clearer. Your energy becomes stronger. And suddenly, you realize something powerful. It was never the pain that controlled you. It was your attachment to it. And now, that attachment is gone. Not because it disappeared, but because you removed it. This is your power, not controlling what happened, but controlling what stays. So from this moment on, there is no return, no revisiting, no reliving, no reopening, because what's buried stays buried. The moment you truly let go, something changes, not outside at first, but inside. There's a lightness, a silence, a space that wasn't there before. And for the first time, your mind is not crowded with what used to hurt you. This is where most people get confused, because they expect instant results, instant success, instant happiness. But that's not how it works. First, you create space, then life fills it. You see, as long as your mind was full of pain, there was no room for anything better, no room for peace, no room for clarity, no room for opportunity, because pain was occupying everything. But now you've removed it, and that empty space is not a loss, it's an opening for something greater. This is why the speaker said, something better is coming, not randomly, not magically, but strategically. Because when you stop holding on to what was, you make space for what can be. Napoleon Hill understood this deeply. He said, before success comes in any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat. But most people turn temporary defeat into permanent identity, and that's where they lose. Because they never move past it. They never release it. They never allow something better to enter. Listen carefully. Better is not blocked by your past. Better is blocked by your attachment to it. The opportunity is there. The breakthrough is there. The next level is waiting, but your hands are full of old memories, old pain, old identity. And you cannot receive something new with hands that refuse to let go of the old. So life waits, not because it's denying you, but because you're not ready to receive. The moment you release it, you become available. Available for new relationships, available for new ideas, available for new opportunities. And this is where momentum begins. Small shifts at first, a new thought, a new perspective, a new decision. And slowly, your entire direction changes. You stop reacting the same way. You stop thinking the same thoughts. You stop attracting the same situations. Because you're no longer the same person. Remember this, your life does not change until your identity changes. And your identity does not change until you stop feeding the old one. That's what you did. You stopped feeding the pain. You stopped feeding the past. You stopped feeding the version of you that was built around suffering. And now a new version begins to rise. Stronger, clearer, unshaken. Not because life became perfect, but because you became different. And when you become different, everything around you responds differently. That's when doors open. Not the doors you were forcing, but the doors meant for you. That's when peace enters. Not temporary, but stable. That's when clarity comes. Not confused, but focused. And suddenly, you understand something you couldn't see before. Nothing was working against you. You were just holding on to what was no longer meant for you. And the moment you released it, everything started aligning. So now, you don't look back. Not because you forgot, but because you no longer need it. Your focus has shifted from what hurt you to what's calling you forward. And that is where your power is. There will be moments when your mind will try to go back. Out of nowhere, a memory will surface. A feeling will return. A voice inside will whisper, just think about it one more time. This is the final test. Not of your strength, but of your decision. Because at this stage, it's no longer about understanding the past. It's about refusing to return to it. And you need to be ready, because your mind will be convincing. It will sound logical. It will feel justified. It will say, you deserve to feel this. You need to process this. You can't just ignore what happened. But here's the truth. You're not processing it anymore. You're preserving it. And every time you go back, you restart the cycle. So in that moment, you don't negotiate. You don't explain. You don't analyze. You don't revisit. You decide immediately. No, not emotionally, not weakly, decisively. Because this is not about the past anymore. This is about your future. And your future is too valuable to be controlled by something that's already over. Remember this, some people have carried the same pain for 10 years, 20 years, even 40 years. Not because they had to, but because they refused to let it go. They made it part of their personality, their conversations, their identity. Don't become that person. Life is too short. Your purpose is too important. Your destiny is too powerful to be buried under old pain. So today you make it permanent, not temporary motivation, not emotional hype, a real decision. From this moment forward, I don't revisit what hurt me. I don't replay what broke me. I don't rebuild what I already buried. It's done. Not because it didn't matter, but because I matter more. Let that sink in. You're not letting go because it was small. You're letting go because you refuse to stay small. And that's power. That's growth. That's transformation. Napoleon Hill said, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. But struggle is not meant to be permanent. It's meant to prepare you, not imprison you. And now you're prepared. Everything you went through gave you strength, clarity, awareness. But it was never meant to stay. So you take the lesson and you leave the pain. You take the wisdom and you drop the weight. You take the growth and you release the past. That's how you move forward. Not by forgetting, but by refusing to carry it. And from this moment on, you live differently, lighter, stronger, free. Because you finally understood something most people never do. You don't need closure. You need the courage to never pick it up again. And once you reach this point, something powerful happens. Peace replaces chaos. Clarity replaces confusion. Direction replaces doubt. And life finally begins to move in your favor. Not because the world changed, but because you did. So this is it. The final line. The final decision. The final shift. Say it with certainty. I dropped it. I left it. And I will never pick it up again. Something better is coming. If you're ready to say it, amen.